Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Breakfast Buddies. So, how are you, lady, today?
Good, thank you, Rachel. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. What about you, Lindsay?
Not too bad, thanks, right?
Lindsay's a bit out the swing of things. I'm feeling like she's not done this for a while. She's thinking, this is feeling a bit weird. Need to get back into
Week off, yeah.
laptop.
The laptop's everywhere.
Yeah, it'll be good because after like a while, because I've done it as well, where you're out of touch a little bit, and then you come back in, you're like, oh, what do I do? But yeah, you'll be in good hands today, Lindsay. Don't worry. So today we thought we'd talk about our internal weather. As you guys may or may not know at home, we talk about our internal weather to do with how we feel in relation to the type of weather it is. So if you're feeling happy, upbeat, then the sun is beaming and warm and sunny. And if you're just not feeling great today, it might be a bit cloudy or drizzly, etc. So you'll kind of get the drill after a while. So, Lindsay, we'll start off with you. What is your internal weather today?
In myself, I feel quite sunny, but in the house it's very stormy with 3 kids off for Easter. They want to kill each other 24/7, like a war zone, yeah. So, yeah, in myself, I'm feeling good, but it's just the daily challenges we got to face.
I think you're going to be the opposite of a lot of parents in England today. Parents in England today are sending their kids back to school. They're like, yes.
Mine is still off. You might see them pop in, or they might hear them arguing and making noise in the background. So I do apologise.
Have they got a week left, or have they got the 2 weeks left?
A week, I think. I'm sure it's a week. Yeah, I'm sure they go back next Monday. I'm hoping. Next Monday.
Yeah. And what about you, Beth? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling like a rainbow this morning. I had a nice long weekend, which was just lovely. And I'm feeling ready for the week this week.
Oh, fantastic. I'm feeling... sorry. I am feeling quite sunny with a... I've nearly said with a chance of meatballs. That was weird.
I'd love to see what that meant for you, Rachel.
I've been on a movie marathon this whole weekend for the Easter. So I've been having all the movies. But yeah, I've been feeling quite sunny and like you, with a bit of a rainbow. The weekend's been really lovely. It's nice to actually have nice hot weather and not worry about clouds or rain and be able to walk the dogs without worrying about any of that. So much better. But yeah, I've been feeling quite good today. But yeah, speaking of Easter, how was your guys' Easter?
It was lovely. It was nice. I didn't really do a lot. I don't know about you both, but for my family, we don't really have like a traditional Easter. There's not really a set thing that we do. Like I know a lot of families, it's like that roast dinner on the Sunday, and like if you have smaller children, Easter egg hunts and things like that. But for my family, it's not as big a thing, I suppose. I think because there's no little children in my family. Crazy dog. You do like an Easter egg hunt or anything, Lindsay? Because you've got, haven't you?
My daughter stayed with basically like her adopted nan for Easter because we didn't have a very nice weekend. Our dog died on the Friday,
no.
So she was really upset. Yeah, it was like a bit of a tragic accident. My partner's got a big dog, and we had a little Pomeranian, and the big dog shook the little dog.
Oh no!
So she didn't want to be here because the dog was here, and it was just it wasn't the best of weekend.
No.
So she was around there, but she lived there. So, and the baby's obviously too little. I mean, if Easter, he doesn't understand. So he had Easter eggs and stuff, but he's just looking at them like, "What are these?
What is that?
Can't eat them. Can't do anything with them. So what are these?" And my boys were like, Easter eggs. We want tracksuits. We want PS. We don't want Easter eggs. I was like, oh. So yeah, it wasn't. I think Easter is like a bit of a farce, really, to just spend more money. Because, like, when we were kids, you just used to have eggs. And it's like, no, my kids ask me for trainers, tracksuits. Oh, but such and such is having this tracksuit and this trainers. And I'm thinking, it's Easter.
Yeah.
If Easter should be a couple of pounds, not hundreds of pounds. It's
literally.
There's an excuse to spend money now, I think.
It's like any holiday, really, isn't it? It's like, I feel like we've spoken about like Valentine's Day on here before, where it's like anything to get you to spend money on little trinkety things that even like Mother's Day and Father's Day, it's like, why you need
anything to spend money,
Yeah, that's the only downside. Like, I feel like as the years go on, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but you kind of forget the whole point of Easter, and it to do with is it the crucifixion of Jesus?
Yeah, and then resurrection. Doesn't it span from like? Oh, I could be completely wrong here. I should know this because when I was younger, I used to go to like summer school and like Sunday school and things like that. But it's all to do with like resurrection, isn't it, as well?
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's kind of lost that religious element, hasn't it? I think it's the same with Christmas. I think for some people, it obviously is still that strong holiday, isn't it? Do you have any like traditions with your family, Rachel? Do you like go and have a roast or?
No, so not as much now. When we were younger, it would be we would go to church, and then it would be. It wasn't the fact that we were a religious family, but more kind of like understanding why we were doing it. Yeah. So we actually had a better knowledge of why it was happening. And as we got older, it was more like chocolate and then like hot cross buns, all of that stuff, all the sweet treats. Yeah. And I was confused at first, like, wait, why is it called hot cross buns? Why is it Easter? And I was like, oh, wait, the cross. So, like, But it's just, you get so out of touch after a while, don't you?
Yeah. So I was looking on the Chronicle and Echo, and I found a really interesting article that it shows you how Easter was celebrated in different countries.
Oh, cool.
So let me show you that if I can find it. I've got so many tabs open, I get lost in the number of them. So obviously this is before Easter. So 5 Easter traditions from around the world. I think there was one that was France. So firework battles in Greece.
Oh, wow.
Many Greek islands have their own ways of celebrating. Usually traditional mass is held on Easter Sunday. However, on the island of, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation of this, Chios, proceedings aren't as peaceful. Every year, a battle takes place between 2 churches, a tradition that dates back to 1889. People carry fireworks to the roof of St. Mark's and Panagia. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
My pronunciation's awful. Erythania. Give it a go. Set them off in the direction of one another. The winner is the first to hit the opposing church's bell tower.
That kind of fun, but dangerous.
I think that's so
really
interesting.
Dangerous.
If anyone watching is Greek and knows why they do that, I would love to know.
I'm Greek, but I've never heard of that.
No.
I remember when I was a kid, my nan used to, like, we used to go there for Easter. She'd always cook lamb. This is like Greek tradition. And we used to have, like, we used to dye eggs red. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Boiled eggs, and they'd be like bright red. Don't ask me why. I don't know how she done it, but that's what we used to have. And we used to have to smash them against each other's eggs. I don't know. Strange. I don't know why.
So interesting.
Yeah, different cultures.
That's really cool, though. Like, that seems more like an engaging, like, tradition than what we have, which is just, like, obviously it's important to know about the religion behind it, but it's more of like a kind of a celebration. It feels more.
Yeah, I think they used to dye them red because I think obviously Jesus died, so like his blood. I think I'm not 100% sure, but if I went to any of my family's house as well, they used to do the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Oh. France, in Béziers, they gather to crack over 15,000 eggs into a huge pan to form the world's largest omelette. The Giant Omelette Brotherhood of Béziers. This one was my favourite, I think. Just, can you imagine how many eggs that would be?
Yeah. Actually, so much.
That's a big omelette.
He asked so it's come from Napoleon. He asked for a giant omelette to be prepared for his troops because he was such a big fan of eggs. But I think that's so nice because I think that kind of adds an element of community into it, doesn't it? Like people that live in that area are coming together to feed each other. I like that. I do like that.
It makes me question, like, how do they cook it?
Oh, I don't know. They must have they must have to have like a fire, mustn't they?
I know it's probably not as hygienic, but I know in some places, like you could crack open an egg onto the pavement, and it would fry the egg so quickly and stuff. But maybe it's something to do with that.
I don't know, but I'm bad enough cooking an omelette for myself. Never mind for loads of people. Can you imagine trying to flip that over?
I normally get mine halfway and then it gets stuck to the other half. And then it's
you have to stick it in the oven, don't you? I don't think that one would fit.
Disaster.
What else have we got? Swedish Easter witches. That was a bit of a tongue twister. Swedish Easter witches. In similar fashion to Halloween in the UK and the US, in Sweden, children dress up in old clothes to represent Easter witches and walk around their neighbourhood exchanging artwork for sweet treats.
That's cool.
I like that. I like that they give something for it.
Yeah, I do like that.
To an old folk tale about witches who would fly to the German mountain the Thursday before Easter to cavort with Satan. When the witches were said to return, Swedes would light bonfires in an effort to scare away the witches. I like the idea of giving something in exchange for the sweets.
Sorry, I'm going to be back 2 seconds. My daughter is stood in my window, literally ready to fall out. 2 seconds.
Right,
sorry.
Get out. So then, kite flying in Bermuda. Every Good Friday in Bermuda, people make handcrafted geometric kites to fly as part of the celebrations. According to local stories, the tradition started when a teacher had trouble explaining Jesus' resurrection to the class and used a kite to try and demonstrate this.
Oh, wow.
They sound so much nicer than our Easter. I don't know about you two, but it sounds a lot more like meaningful and I don't know. It's very interesting.
Just giving an egg and having a cooked dinner and
I think a lot of it as well. It was like the one with Greek firing fireworks at 2 churches. I think that would be such a good memory to have, like from a young child. Just seeing that would be so sentimental and a bit like, wow, I've experienced. I think that's so interesting.
It is different. I've never heard of it though, but it is definitely something different for Easter.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's more creative as well.
It's a lot more creative. And then the last one is egg tapping in Bulgaria. Egg tapping is a game that first gained popularity in medieval Europe and is still played to this day. The simplest version of this game involves tapping hard-boiled eggs together, and the winner is the last person to have an unbroken egg.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. The eggs are often dyed before this commences, the first one of which must be dyed red. This egg will then be kept and preserved until the next year as a token of good luck and health. I wonder if that's the same reason as why they get dyed red in Greece.
Yeah, I was just going to say that because obviously they do it in Bulgaria as well. I've never known anyone else to do it apart from Greeks, but yeah. You learn something new every day.
I do like the whole idea with the Swedish witch one is the fact that you can exchange it for artwork.
Yeah.
So you can, I don't know what artwork would be if it's Easter themed or whatever, but being able to be creative with that as well, it's more engaging than I don't know, painting eggs.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
why.
think as well that comes back to that sense of community, isn't it? It's kind of
Yeah.
a bit like trick or treating, isn't it?
Yeah.
But they give the painting or pizza bar, and then they get the sweets in return. So I thought that was really nice, just to get a bit of a global perspective, because I think sometimes in the UK we're so like shut off, aren't we? And I think we're very focused on things that are going on for us in our own country. So
Yeah.
that was a nice thing to share with everyone this morning.
Oh, that's cool. I never thought about it in like on more of a global perspective either.
Yeah.
And I do think we need to have, like, obviously it's great that it's still got traditional values with religion behind it, but it's like it's more memorable at least than me remembering. The most I remember is like an egg and spoon race, but that was more for like activity days.
Yeah.
For Easter holidays and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else might have happened over the weekend apart from the Easter. Well, was it Good Friday?
Yeah, it was Good Friday, and then we had Easter Sunday, Easter Monday.
Ah, yes. So it's been a nice long break.
Long weekend, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So, how about we get into a story of some sort?
Yeah.
I saw something also Easter related,
Yeah.
and at first it made me think, what? What is it? But it did make me think with my personal stuff as well, if I have anything like this. So screen tool, there we go. So it's from Wales Online. So one owns world's oldest unopened Easter egg and pays monthly for it to be cool in storage container.
Wow.
And I was quite taken back that someone would have an Easter egg for that long without eating it. I would devour that within seconds. But
I wouldn't last 5 seconds in my house with my kids.
No.
Yeah, exactly. But I thought it was really sweet as well. So this great grand is a proud owner of the world's oldest unopened Easter egg, which is still in mint condition. After 62 years, Helen Fern, 75, was given a sweet treat when she was 13. Having that willpower at 13.
Yeah, why?
Kept it for that long.
I know.
No. Does it say why? Because I understand if it's like a collectible item.
I think to kind of chill, I still remember the day I was given it. It was just too pretty that I didn't want to eat it.
Okay.
And this is the egg itself. So it's got like the ribbon, the chocolate decorated with the daffodils.
Yeah.
And I just thought, do you guys have anything where you're like, it's so nice, I don't want to ruin it by using it or doing anything to it?
It's so funny, actually. Jordan and I were talking the other day about shoes, and I'm an avid Converse wearer. And now the pair of black Converse I've got at the moment are the tattiest, most disgusting pair of shoes I think I've ever seen in my life. They are disgusting. But I have a new pair in the box in my wardrobe, but I don't want to wear them. I don't want to ruin them. So they've been sat in, I think I got them for my birthday last year, so July last year.
Yeah.
I've had them in my wardrobe in the box, and I'm yet to wear them. And this pair of Converse just keep getting tattier and tattier, and I just don't want to start wearing this new pair. I don't know if that's similar to her not wanting to eat a chocolate egg, but
yeah, I think so. I'm a bit like that with because I'm 4'6", so I can get away with getting kids' shoes quite cheap. I usually get 2 because I'm not going to grow anytime soon. So if one goes to mess, then I got another one. But I don't want to get into the other one. So it just stays there in the box. And I'm like, if it ends up having holes in the bottom of my shoes and I can't resole them, then I will wear the other one.
Oh,
So I know exactly what you mean.
Last resort.
yeah.
I have I got this thing in the charity shop this time last year, and it was only like £2, so it's not really anything of value, but it's little tea-light candles that look like succulent plants, and I don't want to light them, but they look so cute. But I know eventually I might do, because it's just nice to actually light some candles around a house. But then you look at it, and you're like, I don't want to. It's so
You don't want to go. That's
yeah.
like clothes as well. I have like clothes in my wardrobe that I haven't worn for like probably years, and I'm like, oh, but the sentimental value of that t-shirt.
I'll wear that one day.
Yeah. What about you, Lindsay? Do you have anything that you like share to the point where you're like, I can't use it because it will ruin it or whatever?
Trainers, I've got like so many pairs of them, but like if I like my favourite pair and I haven't got another pair that's like that, then I'll be devastated. I'll just literally wear them until death. I got a pair of like slide-on Vans, like with checks on them, and they're the most comfiest trainers that I've got, and they are literally falling apart, but I won't part with them because I haven't got another pair, so I just literally wear them to death.
Aww.
That's bad.
I love how we all got this thing in common when it comes to shoes. I think that's quite interesting.
Do any of you like collect anything? Do you like collect?
For me, like trainers is my thing, and sunglasses. I've probably got about like 15 pairs of sunglasses, and then trainers. I've got like a whole cupboard full of different styles. Converse, the fat bottoms, the skinny bottoms.
Hiya, Ronnie. You alright? How you doing?
Hello, Ronnie. How are you?
Hi. But yeah, I have trainers and sunglasses.
Yeah, sunglasses. I don't collect anything in particular.
It's not so much collect them. I can't help myself.
Where to
Like, I'll buy one pair and then I'll see another pair. And I'm like, oh, I really like these ones. But like, I don't just buy like I won't just, if it makes sense, I won't buy like River Island ones and collect them.
Yeah.
They're all like designer ones.
Yeah.
My partner was saying to me the other day, why have you got so many bottles of perfume and sunglasses in your cupboard? And I was like, well, he's like, you don't need all these. I said, well, yeah, because I might want to smell like that one day. So there is. Just leave me alone. But yeah, I have got loads of perfume as well. That's another thing.
Yeah, I know people that collect perfumes.
I've got loads of it. Loads.
Ronnie, we'd love to know also, do you have things that you like to collect as well?
I know Ronnie's a gamer, so I feel like he might have,
Oh, nice. That'd be interesting to see if you've got like any limited edition
game collection.
Yeah. For me, it's Studio Ghibli merchandise because you can only get them from Japan, and I just don't. I have a display cabinet full of little knick-knack from like official Studio Ghibli that I don't touch. I just like to look at it, and it reminds me of all the happy memories of like falling in love with animations and anime, etc. But that's kind of like my little collection thing as well. And anything as well, I don't know about Ronnie, but to do with games, I have figures of certain gaming references that I have in the display cabinet as well that I collect. But other than that, I don't really do anything like collecting. I don't know what kids collect nowadays. And I know it was like fidget spinners.
I want to say that they're not called pop. They're called pop something. They've got
Poppets.
those massive
Yeah,
poppets. Yes.
Yeah, my daughter collects them. There's hundreds of them around my house. But then when she gets bored with them, she cuts the poppet bits out. Or like I'll open the freezer and the poppet will be full of Coke or it'll be full of squash or she's seen some hack on YouTube or on telly where like you fill it with Nutella and it's gonna make like this biscuit and it's not gonna make any biscuit, it just makes a mess all over the house.
Mess in the freezer.
That is genius, I'm not gonna lie. It's just putting
honestly, you don't understand. One of the things that this kid has tried to make where she's watched on YouTube, Like I'll buy shampoo for my hair, and it won't be like the cheap one; it'll be expensive. And she'll make slime with it, or she'll make a potion with it, or she'll fill my bath to change my bath to a different color. Yeah.
Although when I was younger, I used to love magazines. We were talking about Tracy Beaker the other day, and I had the Tracy Beaker magazine subscription, and I loved it. I remember the first ever one. You got like a little box that you could put your magazines in, and then you'd get like a hole puncher, like one of the butterfly hole punchers, or some piece of jewelry. And it wasn't a cheap magazine, but I was like, I have to have this every week.
That reminds me of like I don't know if you've seen, like, obviously like the Tracy Beaker one, but do you remember like the science ones where like if every week or every month if you're going to build a skeleton.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a different part of the animal to build, and yeah, I remember them. But it's like a magazine now. Like she asks me for magazines, they're £8.
It's so
for
expensive.
magazine. Like, how can you justify paying £8 for a magazine? She doesn't even want the magazine. She just wants whatever's stuck to the front of it.
The little phone.
Yeah, the goodies. And then the magazine just gets chucked underneath the seat of the car. And the rest of it is just, it'll be played with for about 10 minutes. And then that gets chucked into the seat of the car as well.
Yeah. That's crazy though. I never thought to spend that much on a magazine nowadays. I remember when I was really getting into gaming, I got like the Nintendo monthly magazine, and they're like £4 something. I don't know how much they are now, but usually they come with like really cool, like maybe a like, you know, them Windows stickers where it's got like a gaming reference or a Nintendo thing, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's cool. It's worth the $4.99, I guess. And learning about new things coming out, being released. But yeah, I've never really thought about it before until I saw this news story about
back now.
Seeing the lady with the chocolate and then just loving it so much that she just didn't want to touch it.
My hand.
Okay, so what else have someone brought to the table they'd like to talk about today?
So I saw something really interesting that I've heard of before, but not a lot, and it's about people having to change their name in the workplace.
Yeah.
And it's actually a little video, so I thought this was it's quite sad actually hearing this, because it's not something that I've ever experienced, but I'll let you listen to this.
I felt like I had to fit in, like I needed to keep up with the joke and keep up with people like calling me by the wrong name.
Changing your name to fit in? I know a bit about that. Zara Porter, Nina Nanji, Nanji, BBC News. That's actually not my name though. My real name's Noor, but at work I chose to go by Nina because so many people were getting it wrong. And that got me wondering whether other people have done similar things. I'm off to meet Chinna Mellam, who's been abbreviating her name for most of her life.
When I was in year 3, I joined a new school and they called me up to the front and they were like, "What's your name?" And I said, "Chinna Mellam," and I was really standing there proudly. And the teacher was like, "What was that?" I said, "Chinna Mellam." And she was like, to the whole school, "If you don't know how to pronounce that, just call her Chicken Lemon." And from that day, literally everybody was calling me Chicken Lemon. I just felt a bit small, like nobody was taking me seriously. Like I needed to keep up with the joke and keep up with people like calling me by the wrong name just so like my friends wouldn't leave me basically.
After that, she decided to go by Mel.
It's all just rooted in a lot of discrimination and prejudice, I guess, and like people's opinions towards people of color in general. I feel like a lot of the time when people pronounce my name correctly first time, I feel so happy, but then I feel like that's the bare minimum, like that's my name. So I really feel like people should put more of an effort into it.
She's not the only one. This is celebrity chef Tony Singh. His real name is Rajinder, but he never uses that. I asked him whether using Tony had made it easier to get ahead.
I've never thought of it as easier or more difficult, because when you turn up to work, you can't hide who you are, especially being a Sikh. I think, yes, it is an obstacle for people if they have a foreign-sounding name. To some people, it might be something to say, well, we don't want anybody that's not like us, or whatever reason it is, which it shouldn't be. I think it can be a challenge if you're applying for jobs or filling out forms.
The human resources body, the CIPD, says it's completely unacceptable that people should feel the need to change their names to avoid discrimination. It adds that organisations need to have transparent and fair processes. I've recently decided to reclaim my real name. So has Chinamelum, who's also set up a food blog called, wait for it, Chicken Lemon.
I wanted to change the narrative of what it was, and like that was a big trauma, I think, and now it's something I can laugh at instead of like thinking bad about it.
She told me why she's going back to her real name.
That's like my identity, that's my pride, it's my country, my culture, my language. I feel like names have power, and I'd be losing a lot of that power if I kept going by Mel, basically.
I think that's disgusting. I can't imagine how derogatory that must have felt for her, for a teacher to turn around and be like, it's fine. Call her Chicken Lemon.
Yeah.
Not even to understand her name, and I think it just goes to show how unfair it is. And I've heard someone, I can't even remember who it was, but I've heard people say that they've applied for jobs with their name that they're born with and they've been rejected straight away.
Yeah.
And then people have changed their name on their CV and they've been invited to a job interview because they've changed their name. And I think that's just disgusting and so discriminatory. And I think people don't realise that. I mean, especially for me, like my name's Beth. It's not something that is not unheard of. And I think it just infuriates me that people are having to change part of their identity, because I think our name is something that makes us who we are. And it's just seeing that really made me quite angry.
Yeah.
People are so discriminated against because of their name.
I remember hearing about what you mentioned with the CVs, and I think the most common name that was rejected was it Mohammed, I think, and it made no sense to me because it's a name. It doesn't mean anything about them as a character or personality. It should be the skill set they present themselves with.
Yeah.
Like,
nothing to do with the effect of whether or not they can do the job.
And it's like, it's not even that difficult to learn and appreciate how to pronounce. Like, I sometimes get, it's not the same, definitely not going to be the same, but with having my dad who's Welsh, people would pronounce my last name as Davis, and it's not, or Davies, and they get confused, and it's saying, it's spelled like Davies, but it's pronounced as Davis, not Davy. So things like that, and it should be more of like a common thing where people learn how to pronounce it and understand why it's pronounced that way, like the origin behind it.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of ignorance in that. It's, oh, that's not a name that I've heard before. Why should I learn how to pronounce it? And I can understand how difficult it must be for people with complicated names, having to go through that process of actually it's this, no, it's not that. But that, I thought that was quite an eye-opening video, because not a lot of people who will have experienced that or have heard of that and not been comfortable to share their experiences with that. So yeah, that was definitely something that was eye-opening for me.
And it's not even just one field of work either. It's like anything, like the fact that
I'm just going to go and grab the baby. He's just woke up on his monitor. 2 seconds, I'm back now.
It's like the thing of with the chef having to change his name to Tony.
Yeah.
And it's like, but he's a chef. That shouldn't affect how good he is at his job and the skill sets that he has.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's very shocking to see that. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
And how recent was this news article then?
Let me have a look when it was posted. It was yesterday.
So it's still a thing that keeps happening a lot then.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought it was such a I thought maybe at least we would have improved in at least 10 years, but no.
Yeah. No.
That's really shocking. Damn. Trying to think. I don't know what else there could be for an example of when you just read something and people think, oh, they're not there might be this type of way, so we're not going to bother talking to them. It reminds me of that. Do you remember the debate with Katie Hopkins? Katie Hopkins about not having her children spend time with other kids that got certain names.
Yes. Was it countries? But then was it Phil and Holly? And Phil was like, "Isn't your daughter called India?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that.
And she said something about I don't like it when they're named after a geographical location, flowers, or days of months of the year, like summer. And he made a good point saying isn't one of your daughters called Poppy as well?
Yeah.
And it was
how dare you judge somebody based on their name? That doesn't tell you anything about that person.
No, it doesn't at all. And it doesn't even say anything about their class. It sounds silly, years down the line, if I were to have a child, I like the fancy names, the names you don't hear every day. I like Rupert. Yeah. I like Edmund. I like Evangeline. All of those names. But my parents, our names are so different. So we got a Gareth, a Martin, a Thomas, Jonathan, and a Rachel. So it's all different, and it just doesn't make sense to judge people by their name at all.
No, not at all.
No. So Lindsay, do you have a story for us?
Yeah,
which one would you like to talk about?
Any, you pick one, Rach.
Okay. We could do I'd say this one kind of Easter related because it's to do with daffodils. So that one's quite interesting. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing a file. I'm sharing a screen. There we go. I saw this as well, and I thought it was quite interesting. And it's a video. So, should we play the video?
Well,
yeah, go for it. Another video.
Growing the daffodils and extracting glanthum from them in a very cost-efficient way. This means there's more money in the pot to share with farmers who want to grow daffodils with us. It would be a great shame if we ended up with farming for carbon credits when there's an opportunity to actually grow and yield and make a profit. So I think this is the opportunity. So once the product is launched and we're getting market pull-through, we're going to need to grow more daffodils on more farms across the uplands of Wales, because hopefully this will take off and help an awful lot of patients. It's a coal crop. We plant the daffodils directly into hill pasture, which means the sheep can continue to graze. And that in turn means that the farmer gets an additional income from the daffodil crop rather than the alternative, which is typical of farm diversification. As this scales up and increases, we will see daffodils across the tops of many of the upland areas of Wales. We're focusing on grower clusters if we can, to make it more practical and sensible to move material and equipment to each area. Moving on to the next step now, with great opportunity, not only for those, but for both farmers.
Ooh. That's actually
They're
quite
using it to help treat Alzheimer's. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's supposed to prevent it or something.
Prevent it. Okay.
So pharmaceutical entrepreneur Sir Roger Jones said, more of the plants were needed in the industry. I do like the idea that when he said about it's another addition to the income instead of an alternative, I think that's even more of like an incentive for getting the money in.
Yeah.
So the farm harvests enough to help at least 9,000 patients a year.
Okay.
Wow. So it slows down the progress of vascular dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
That's incredible.
I didn't know that was a thing with that.
I didn't. No, I didn't either. I think it's amazing. I think we don't realise how good certain natural remedies are, do we? Like the fact
There's
that
no cure for it either. So like I saw my nan go through like having vascular dementia, and it was horrific. And it's like it comes over so fast and they deteriorate so fast. So if it helps slow it down and prevent it, then I'm all for it, to be honest. I grow 9,000 daffodils for them in my garden if they wanted, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really cool. So I wonder what part of it. I'm guessing it's the actual flower.
Must be like the stem.
Oh, the stem.
No, like, you know, like not the stem, you know, like
Oh,
the
like
head
the
of the flower, and then it's got like that long, I don't know what it's called. I'm not like science, but it's like where they like sort of like where the bees go in.
Yeah.
There must be something to do with that, I suppose.
Of it. This little bit here with the cute.
The middle bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
really little eyes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Like, do you guys know any like natural home remedies that you like use instead of normal like prescribed medications or over counter?
I think the only one.
And lemon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the only one.
That's the only one I know. My nan knows. Honey, lemon, and a big spoon of sugar in it.
Yeah. Honey and lemon.
I've heard things like using when I used to have really bad cold sores, using a tea bag, like normal, like Earl Grey tea bag, and then should take it out after with the boiling water, and then if without burning yourself, you apply pressure onto the cold sore to help with the pain and stuff.
Okay.
I thought that was quite fun. Like, it's fun to learn those things, and I used to have a massive book of home remedies as well.
Yeah.
But it was more about also like beauties. So using can't remember what type of oil, but like just normal. So you can use oil to help cleanse your eyes with the right ones and stuff instead of using like the chemicals. At least it's a natural source at least.
Yeah, I know. Is it ginger? Ginger's meant to be good for sickness, like if you're feeling nauseous. You're meant to have ginger.
Yeah.
That helps you.
That's me with lemons, actually. Like, I don't know if it's effective, but having a lemon wedge and sucking on it, stops me from being a bit like, ugh, for some reason.
Okay.
It's really interesting. I thought that's really cool. It's amazing that they can find a way to encourage like medicine grown in a natural way instead of it being produced with, well, I don't really know how they produce medicine in general, just with chemicals, what chemicals or how they're made up and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah, you don't realise the benefits of like natural like foods, do you? Like, I know, is it I think I could be wrong. I think garlic has a lot of health benefits to it, like a lot.
Oh yeah, I do use garlic for, and tea tree oil is really good as well. For flea treatment. So I don't give the dogs garlic because it's part of the onion family, but I've heard that the smell of it,
Yeah.
the fleas hate it.
Okay.
Tea tree oil,
Yeah.
fleas are repelled by it and they won't go anywhere near animals that got the scent of tea tree oil on them.
Okay.
So it's a cheaper alternative than getting like the expensive
treatment. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But
use
little
that one
things like
for Nick, stops them going near the river as well. The tea tree. All right, it's the noisy today.
I found one that was quite interesting. Again in Wales. And it is obviously we know we're quite similar with the green lanyard with the sunflowers on them.
Yeah.
In Wales, they're hoping to develop a new passport for disabled people to get better services. And I think it's because you kind of lost the meaning behind the sunflower for the green lanyard, because it was mostly brought out because it was a sign for people to wear during COVID that say, I have a disability, therefore I shouldn't put a mark on, etc.
Yeah.
And it wasn't originally made for that. It was originally made to say, I have a disability and I need support, just without actually saying those words, because it's not something you want to announce all the time, especially when you want to just go about your day and feel included and normal, and you don't want to go into an establishment and say, I have a disability and I need this, and not feel like a demanding person.
Yeah. But also on the back of that, I feel like people with disabilities shouldn't feel like that. There shouldn't be that embarrassment or stigma around needing help or having the level of support that you need to get things done on a daily basis. I think for people who don't have disabilities or aren't neurodiverse, there's not a level of understanding of that people need help, and if they need the help, then it should be on offer for them. And I don't think there should be embarrassment around that.
No, I don't think so either. But I think it because, like, after a while, you do have those moments when you're like, actually, it's in my right to have that support, because, like, it does. I should be included regardless of what I was born with. But at the same time, you feel like, do I have to humble myself a bit because I shouldn't really be going around with that attitude, because there are people in worse situations than me, because you can't help but compare different levels of disabilities and etc. And you kind of question, is your disability as valid as someone in the typical, like in the wheelchair that most people assume with disability, you are either in a wheelchair or the life crutches. But this established organisation is starting in Wales, and they're hoping to make it more of a Wales spread instead of worldwide spread. And it's called the Pews Scheme, but it's spelt with PIWS, and it means purple in Welsh. And it basically has helped people who have disabilities that are not obviously seen at first sight or at first glance. So people with autism, and learning how and teaching establishments how they can support those with these differences. So businesses, they're giving businesses the opportunity to join Pews and receive training and help those who need extra support.
Yeah.
And I think that's really good to offer that opportunity to educate businesses on how to be able to accommodate to those without it feeling like a big ordeal, because you don't like to feel like you go into a situation and they're not equipped, they don't know what to do, and then they're asking all these questions, and you're like, I really don't want to go into detail of why I need these things. But if they're trained and they understand without having to ask the person,
That will push you on your disability.
Yeah.
I think that's just as degrading, isn't it? When you're stood there with like, I've got this, and they're like, well, why? How? Like, what? You don't want that. You just want them to turn around and be like, okay, yes, we can do this, this, and this for you.
Exactly. And also, it does go hand in hand. I do feel like if you have a disability, that means, for example, dimming the light, turning off music for children with autism, or being able to skip queues. You could also check with establishments by phoning them or even emailing them to say, I have this, what facilities or what procedures do you have in place to help accommodate? And that's not everyone may not have the confidence to do that, but I do think that is also a great way to communicate to our like businesses to say, I don't want to draw attention to me in such a way, but I would like some support in this area, because let's say the Warner Brothers studios, I emailed them basically saying, what's the disability access like, because I find it hard to walk long distances. Do you have wheelchairs that you provide? If not, I can try and get my mum to pack it in the car, etc., etc. But I do think this is a great move forward, and whether this should be something where we rebrand the sunflower or not, I think it might be something that should be done at least, because we've lost the whole meaning behind it because of COVID. And I noticed that people who wear the lanyard are not wearing it because of disability, but more asthma. Not that it's not a disability, but it's not the true origin of why it started in the first place, let's say.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool, and
I'm glad. It's a great idea.
Yeah, and the fact that it's just a lanyard is kind of saying like, oh yeah, well, need to make sure we got this in place, or let them know, did you know that we got this, 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 and this? Would you like any of these provided for you? And then that would be a much more pleasant experience for everyone all around, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I like the idea of people being trained in disabilities and how to offer support in their like work setting. I think that's really, really helpful. I think especially for like things like supermarkets or even as big as like airports. I think having that training to be able to have an understanding of different disabilities and what you can do in your like setting is really good. So I like that a lot.
Because I do think like you don't realize how limiting it is to have to be neurodiverse on an every day-to-day basis, and to be able to kind of put that as a blanket for all establishments should be a must, I think, because then that way, because we're not all cut like what's the phrase, tarred from the same brush. I don't know if I said that right. We're not all the same, so everyone's different in their own way. One of them might be, I don't know, a highlighting brush, the other one an eyeshadow brush. We're all different. But have you got anything, Beth?
Yeah, so the last thing that I really wanted to talk to you all about is, so this week on Friday, so the 22nd of April, we're having a volunteer recruitment day at the Yard. So between 4 and 6:30, this is our little flyer. Between 4 and 6:30, we're going to be opening the doors at the Yard. So that's 62 Gold Street. We're looking for anyone who does any of these things. We're looking for youth workers, gamers, if you like storytelling, or if you just want to come find out a little bit more about what we do, then that is definitely a time for you to come and do that. So just to give you a bit of insight into kind of what we do at the Yard, Rachel is one of our excellent volunteers. So I just wondered if you could just kind of tell us a bit about your experience, kind of things that you've done,
Yeah.
what you do, that kind of thing.
Yes, so as you guys may or may not know, I joined, I'd say, I think June or July of last year, and it was literally from seeing one of our social activism outside on the pavement with chalk drawings, and I thought, oh, that's actually really sweet, and I saw through the window of a group of you guys just going, come in. I was like, okay, go in there. And at the time, I was looking for a different volunteering opportunity because I used to volunteer in a charity shop. And I have to say, I've never felt so much like inclusivity and appreciation as a volunteer than I have at the Yard, because it's a whole different ball game. So if you're someone that's used to volunteering in charity shop, you kind of get the same atmosphere of you come in at this time and you should make the customers feel welcome, you help out, but you don't really feel included as much as you should do, because you're just as much as a team player as you are the people who are paid.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that at all when I work at the Yard, because I get included with training days. I also get included with just any activities that we're doing. Like, if you'd like to, Rachel, come along, we'll help you learn with whatever. But what I really love with volunteering at the Yard is the diverse groups of people that we encounter every day.
Yeah.
And you learn a lot about the world working in a community centre. It's opened my eyes a lot more with feeling like I'm a part of something, and feeling as though I am making a difference to people's lives. Because when you're a volunteer, all you want to do is help others. And when you're doing it in a retail establishment, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
In the Yard, it will be the case of, what would you like to do? What would you like to suggest? And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's a different experience. And I dabbled in pretty much all of this. So I've done, I've ran gaming sessions on Saturdays. I've helped with crafting. I've also done a bit of storytelling. I like coming in with like ideas of craft, and maybe doing, let's do a social media thing, and just feeling like I can help others just from being me as well.
Yeah.
And so if you're someone that's got a different background, different religion, culture, maybe you're part of a minority group, or whatever, you're going to be treated as the same, but also we understand that you have these special background skills that not everyone has.
We talk a lot about lived experience, don't we? And I think that just, it makes everything we do all the more important. So yeah,
definitely. And it's made me feel more of I've always wanted to be the person that was contributing to community, because when you're someone with a disability and you find it hard to get work, you kind of feel within yourself like you're existing. So you kind of like, you're just here because you can't contribute much, because you can't work because of this. But with this, it's a whole different ball game where your differences is valued and is harnessed for the right reason. And I really like when I first started, we had a group of people with different disabilities, and it was refreshing for me to be able to educate them on things that are accessible for them. Like, you may not realize this, but you are entitled to, let's say, a CEA card to this, like a cinema card or the lanyards and stuff like this. So you don't have to feel like you're struggling so much for money. Like, go to the council and get a bus pass, because then you can't afford those things. And with these lifted downs, like, it's always great to have someone who's like great at gardening, because that will be good to learn about how to grow vegetables and how to appreciate the environment that we live in. Social media people, we would love that as well. And sporty people, definitely. We always have to be moving.
I'm not one of those people, so if you are watching this and you're thinking, you know what, maybe I would like to find out a little bit more about what it's like to volunteer at the yard, if you want to come along on Friday the 22nd, so that is this Friday at 4 o'clock until about 6:30, you'll see me there, you'll see Jordan there and a couple of other members of the team, and just get to know us, have a feel for the building and see what we can offer you. So definitely come along and check that out. But that is everything I have to share for today.
Fantastic. And so I'm guessing we're open now, technically, at the yard.
Not just yet, no. Got the building is nearly there. We were doing gym flooring the other week, so hopefully we'll be back soon. But we're going to be open for the volunteer recruitment day. So that's next Friday. And then I think there's going to be another one on the 6th of May. Date.
So, as you guys know, even though we are shut at the yard, we are still open online, and we're always checking our social medias and commenting and interacting with you guys. So we have we still got for Friday Give of Stars? With Jasmine, and then on Monday it's The Last Wish with you. And we also have Steve, who does gaming as well. And I believe that's pretty much it for the online Facebook, pretty much.
And Breakfast Buddies. Don't forget Breakfast Buddies tomorrow on Thursday.
Breakfast Buddies in the morning for tomorrow and on Thursday as well. So please pop by tomorrow and just keep engaged, and we'll be engaged too. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me today, girls.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Have a good rest.